Okay.
Guess we don't have Gary
Let's
today.
call the Board of Commissioners meeting to order at 10:01. All those who are able, please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, I see we have a fair number of people here. Do we have any public for comment for items not appearing on today's agenda? No? All right. Moving on, any additions to the agenda from the other
None I'm aware
commissioners? All right, we have a couple announcements we added, but I think we made the deadline on that. If the meeting minutes are fine, we'll take a motion.
I'll move to approve the minutes from the meeting held April 29th.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second to approve the minutes for the meeting held on April 29th. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Moving on to recognition, we'll talk about something people have been talking about now for almost a week. The very, very big storm that rolled in on Tuesday, roughly around 7 p.m. And we have Kira here from our 911 dispatcher's office to talk about what 911 and emergency management and our first responders did throughout the county to respond very well to the storm. I think we set at least one record, didn't we?
Two.
Two, okay.
Jen's out there too.
Oh, Jen's out there too. Well,
She
come
is.
on out, Jen.
She's hiding.
She's hiding. All right.
We said,
We're tired of storms.
Yes.
According to the phone people, we took about 1,500 calls in an hour. And that was in
Wow.
the region. All of our dispatch positions were filled. We had admin people in here making notifications to West Penn Power. We did 300-plus notifications to them in that evening. There were several people that worked, a 16-hour shift to make sure that everyone got their 911 call answered, so.
I think Kira came in that night
She did.
on her off shift and worked
All
for a
right.
while, and then
Thank
went
you.
home, grabbed a couple hours of sleep, and then was right back in for her regular shift
Oh, man.
yeah.
in the morning.
Work.
Kind of like a college student during finals, which is what we're in right now.
Something
Oh, and
like
was
that.
training someone all the time.
At the same time. Well, trial by fire. And of course, unfortunately, we did have the one fatality over near my house in State College. Again, reminder to everyone, if you think there is a down power line, sagging power line, stay at least 30 feet away from it, because electricity is nothing to mess with. And I know we had hundreds of first responders out. It seemed like for a good hour there, all you could hear was sirens.
Yeah.
Anything else you'd like to add?
We want to thank the first responders because
Yes.
a lot of the fire departments and police departments, they have a program they use called Crew Force. They were able to see all the calls coming in and they
Oh,
were
good.
able to be proactive and go out and handle those without us having to dispatch because we were totally overwhelmed with 911 calls.
Oh, yes.
So a big thank you to them because they took a big load off of us.
Oh,
And it
wonderful.
really helped a lot.
That's
So-
tremendous.
Yeah.
Commissioner Concepcion, anything you'd like to add?
Yeah, I've heard such great feedback from the community about how responsive Center County 911 was during this crisis. And this was kind of I wouldn't say unprecedented, but we haven't seen anything quite like this scale over this large of a, land area and the intensity of it, as well as some of the real hazards in terms of the number of down power lines and, poles down across roads. It was really a dangerous situation. And it seems like, there's just been tremendous professionalism in the response and keep trying to keep people as safe as possible. And so that, getting people online again, as soon as we could by keeping track of all the areas that were, the worst hit. So, yeah, thanks for all of your work.
Commissioner Dershowitz?
Well, first of all, thank you. I don't know how you folks do it under the circumstances because I'm doing a little math in my head and 1,500 calls in 60 minutes with a handful of folks taking those calls. That's a monumental task. That's the beginning, but really just the severity of the situation and the professionalism that requires to keep the people who are obviously maybe a little agitated or perhaps scared, to keep them calm, cool, and collected. And then you've got to make sure that the first responders are dispatched appropriately. And I think we'd be amiss if we didn't recognize the linemen and,
Yes.
and the electrical crews that came from all over to help us out. And I know, Mark, you were very instrumental in pushing some of
Yeah.
that
Thanks,
conversation.
Steve.
But
Yeah.
but ultimately, I think it's, a situation like that, you just never know what you're gonna fall into. And I'm sure nobody went into work that day thinking, hey, this is gonna be our busiest call volume ever. And, I don't think it happens that way. So,
Yep.
you've got to be on your toes all the time, and you've certainly proved that. And your crew down there, stood the test of many hours of challenge, and we really appreciate that, and really appreciate, not only as a county but as a region, your professionalism and keeping everybody as safe as possible, because that was an amazing day. And when you have wind shear,
Yes.
that takes down a lot of things that normally would not be taken down, and it's proven that this was one of the worst storms ever. And we appreciate everything, and hopefully now that you've got this under your belt, you don't have to practice again. So,
Yeah.
this never happens. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so thanks again to county staff, both 911, EMA. Thanks again to all of our first responders, many of whom were volunteers, many of whom were without power at their homes during the event. And thanks to the several hundred linesmen and lineswomen who came into the county starting Wednesday evening. I know the commissioners and the local elected officials and the state elected officials and their staffs were heating the phones up pretty hot by Wednesday afternoon. So thanks again to everybody for getting through this. And I believe we're down to maybe a handful of people left now in Center County without power. I think they still have 10 or 20,000 in Pittsburgh who don't have it yet a week later. So again, thanks. And any questions from the press on the storm or the storm response? Yes.
I have one question. Obviously, the storm last week caused a lot of chaos, and
Yeah.
damage, and injury. Moving forward, what lessons are you all taking from the storm, or what messages are you bringing forward with you in case this happens again? And have there been any discussions about potential changes to infrastructure to kind of mitigate damage in the future in case something like this comes along again?
Sure. Well, I'll take the last one first. Altering the infrastructure is primarily up to the power companies. But of course, local municipalities do have some level of control over that. And obviously, we'd hope the state legislature will step up and talk about how it's probably not acceptable to have 10 or 20,000 people in Pittsburgh without power an entire week later. Locally, of course, you heard that the new software that the fire companies were using was super helpful. We're probably going to take a look and chat with Pima about now that we've had 1,500 calls in a single hour, what do we need to do to make our infrastructure and software a little more robust to be able to handle surges of that magnitude in the future. Also, I think we might be a little more proactive after big storms in the future. We were kind of giving West Penn Power and Penelec divisions of First Energy almost 48 hours before we finally said, wait a minute. We know it's tough. We know that this was like a 70-mile long front of wind shear that kind of covered the western two-thirds of Center County, and I also think almost the western two-thirds of the Commonwealth, plus Ohio, plus upstate New York, plus I think even Indiana. But within about 48 hours, we should, be able to be calling crews in from surrounding states. I know that Pennsylvania linesmen and lineswomen are often called out to the states that surround us. So obviously took a little bit, but massive response by, say, Thursday morning. And boy, did we see the difference with all those additional people out in the field. The number of people who were out was dropping by 100 or 200 an hour initially, and then it was like 1,000 or 500 every hour. It's like, okay, this is good. And we'll have an announcement later about people who are on SNAP programs be able to get some additional food. And I believe the food bank has also made a generous offer to help people who aren't even on their rolls to get some food replaced. I know for the rest of us, we're able to cover the cost of a refrigerator and a freezer worth of food, but it's still very inconvenient and
Kind of
difficult.
disappointing to have to throw
Yeah.
out a lot of food.
Yeah. Yeah, so
But
great.
for some people,
great-
it's a
great s-
crisis.
Yes,
Yeah.
great series of questions. Any other questions on the storm response? Great, thanks. All right, we will now move on to proclamations, and I'll pull my bike helmet up here. We have, I believe, Ann and Matthew here to talk about May being Bike Month, and May 12th to 18th being Bike to Work Week, and May 16th being Bike to Work Day in Center County.
Thank you. I'm Ann Messner from Center County MPO, and as you had stated, May is Bike Month, and we have a lot of activities that are intended to encourage cycling, but also to educate about cycling. And I really love that you have your helmet, because one of the things that we worry about is safety. And I have a little handout. It came from a grade school education site, but it is a photocopy, if you will, of the brain. And if you hit your head somewhere on certain parts of the brain, this is what's adversely affected. And that's one of the things that I'm supposed to work on is, hey, it's a really good idea to work, to wear a helmet because such injuries can occur. But with Matt's one of our partners, and he is very helpful with Center Bike in terms of providing additional education. And as I hand this out, why don't you do your thing?
You also do a great job with Cranksgiving, which is an event where the cycling community provides food for Thanksgiving to the local food banks.
Thank you.
Oh, man.
Thanks.
These reflective little
Thank
fellas.
Yeah.
you. Awesome, thank you.
So just while Matt's coming back, other things that we also worry about is talking with our municipalities to see look for opportunities to improve cycling in their particular municipality. We have an active transportation plan that highlights some of the needs, but we also have a long-range transportation plan, the word just escaped me, that also recognizes that cycling is an important mode of transportation, and to the extent that the MPO can facilitate construction of new facilities, we are open to those conversations.
Just wanted to say, I grew up here when I was younger. There was very little bike infrastructure, but 20-some years later, we have over 104 miles. I rode here today through Spring Creek Canyon Trail. It was
Oh, it's gorgeous.
great ride, a little foggy, but I enjoy it. I
Nice
love
touch.
biking every day. Can't wait to see future plans. We have College Avenue project coming up and the Easterly, Westerly shared use path. Looking forward to those as well, trying to connect all these bike paths together. But really glad for May Bike Month. Again, we have a lot of activities which are on our website, centerbike.org. So we look forward to seeing everybody out there and cycling.
Great, well, thank you, Ann and Matthew, and a couple of interesting statistics. Cyclists live roughly 8 years longer than the average citizen, and you can also park, I believe, 16 bicycles in the space that it takes to park a single car. And that's if you're using bike racks. You can cram in a little tighter if you don't. And from a safety standpoint, obviously, the more lights you have,
Business
Oh,
hour.
nice.
the better. Yeah, it was
That's
an
great.
entrepreneurial device. I don't even know if it's available anymore. But yes, I'm an avid cyclist, and if it's not raining, I'll probably be out later today. A lot of fun, great for transportation, and just peace of mind. Nice trails here in the county, and a whole bunch of nice trails surrounding us. The Allegheny Passage, the bike through the bottom of the Grand Canyon on the trail there, the Lauer Trail, lots of wonderful places within a short distance of State College and the entire county. But Spring Creek Canyon is especially wonderful. Commissioner Concepcion?
Yeah, so first I'd like to thank the MPO for all the work they've done on active transportation planning. We have been working on a Safe Streets for All grant that we're hoping to get some response back. we were under contract, but now that's been paused, and so that's something we'd really like to see movement on, hopefully, to get a response on that. Because bicycling, walking, all of these other modes of transportation are really, important and critical ways that our communities stay connected and people get to work and to leisure activities. I think it's really important to think about how biking to work is like one way to incorporate a little bit of fitness into your daily routine. If you can bike to work, you've already, gotten some fitness in, during and on your way there. And it's good to see lots more employers around the area are incorporating in showers for employees so that if it's a hot day and you want to bike to work, that a lot of places you can come in and get a shower as soon as you get to work. And those seem like small things, but they can really make a difference in people's ability to incorporate, non-motorized ways of getting to work. So it's also, this is like the time of year to remind people to share the road. How many feet do we need to keep from cyclists, and 4 feet? So it's really important to be on the lookout this time of year as more and more people are on bikes and motorcycles and other
Yes.
kinds of transportation where it's our job as motorists to share the road with everyone else who's using it. So thanks for being here.
Thanks, Commissioner. Commissioner Dershowitz?
Well, I think it goes without saying that there's a lot more bikes out on the road, and not only pedal bikes but also e-bikes. And I think people need to be reminded that not only do you have a responsibility of sharing the road, but also those are human beings that are riding along the side of the road. And you have to be incredibly careful because accidents do occur. So I think we need to just maybe all slow down a gear or two, and not only for bicycles but for everything. It seems like everybody is in such a hurry now, and if you have a 2-second delay, they have to make it up, instantly by going that much faster. And I just think it's respectful for safety in general that we all slow down and just be a little more kind on the road. So appreciate everything you're doing, and I think bicyclists are an amazing bunch because I see you guys out in some pretty terrible weather sometimes. And I'm always amazed that there's so much enthusiasm because I don't know how many bike shops there are now, but there's a bunch.
Yes, I would say at least 4, maybe 5.
Yeah, I think our area is
Yeah.
well represented in that regard, and it's pretty clear that there's a lot of enthusiasm for bicycling. So it's all good.
Yeah. And I think since having the Ironman competition here in
Yes.
Happy Valley, that's brought even more enthusiasm to bicycling, as folks who are, considering training for that are incorporating more bicycling into their fitness. So,
Good point, Commissioner Concepcion. A very well-attended event, and it covers a large fraction of Center County, even pops into Clinton County for a few miles.
Yep.
And Commissioner Dersham's point, it's Bike Month. The weather's hopefully, knock on wood, about to get nice. So watch out for the cyclists, for the motorcyclists, the runners, joggers, walkers.
And the Amish buggies.
The Amish buggies. Yeah. Took the words right out of my mouth.
There you go.
Well, thanks again for coming. Any questions from the press on this one? No? Why don't you come on up and we'll present
Should
the
we pass
proclamation.
the-
Oh, yes, you're right. We've got to pass the,
So I'll go ahead and move
Yes.
that we adopt Proclamation 23 of 2025, proclaiming May 2025 as Bike Month, May 12th through 18th, 2025 as Bike to Work Week, and May 16th as Bike to Work Day in Center County. So hopefully we get good weather on the 16th.
yes.
And I will second that.
We have a motion and a second to adopt Proclamation number 23, proclaiming May as Bike Month, May 12th through 18th as Bike to Work Week, and May 16th as Bike to Work Day in Center County. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Now come on up.
All right.
Move stuff around.
Thanks for coming in.
I'm going to grab the bike helmet.
Where would you like?
Oh, right centered on Belmont.
Okay.
Oh, great bike pin.
Is it popular where people put their hands on the helmet?
Oh.
Oh, okay.
I was kidding, but Is it blocking the proclamation?
Okay, wait. What's the,
No, it's not.
all right, just
We'll just, we'll just have the helmet
we'll
here.
plan next time. All right. Smile, 3, 2, 1.
Put it on, good stuff.
It looks a little complicated, but it's safe.
All right, thank you.
Thanks so much for coming.
What if he turns the lights on? Thanks, man.
Did yours deflate a little bit, Steve?
I did.
Okay.
My back kinked.
Oof. All right. Well, so long as Commissioner Dersham's okay.
Yeah, we'll be fine.
We'll keep moving. We're gonna move on to proclamation number 24, which is proclaiming May 4th through the 10th as Corrections Employee Week in Center County. And we have, I think, all of our wardens here.
Yep, sneaking on in here.
Glenn, Danielle,
I'd like to.
and Mike.
Good morning, everybody. I'd like to thank the board for the recognition of Correction Officers Week. Also want to acknowledge Danielle Menarchik, Deputy Warden, and Mike Woods, the other Deputy Warden, hiding behind me. They both do a great job at the facility, and we don't want to brag, but I think we have a pretty incredible team up there all around. So
Yes.
It's okay to brag about that.
It's okay.
is.
You
I
do
might do
great
a little more of that
That's
here.
what
in
this
All
front
right,
of my-
very good.
Yeah, that's what we're here for.
Yeah. We want to thank all the staff that work at the correctional facility. Again, it's a great group of employees, from corrections officers to inmate services staff, to kitchen staff, maintenance staff, nursing staff, and of course, administrative staff. We are our own little self-confined and contained community within itself. Unlike outside of the community, our staff don't call the police when there's a situation. Our staff have to respond. Oftentimes, our staff are running towards danger, that being from physical control issues to having bodily fluids thrown at you, etc. Dealing with those having a mental health crisis or breakdown, detoxing, and oftentimes faced with verbal confrontations with language that's not safe to talk about in a public meeting. All of our staff at the facility are Department of Corrections certified and trained. Some staff receive specialized training in their respective duties and assignments. Recently attended a wardens conference, and one of the speakers was a physician, and he has referred to county correctional facilities as the new urgent care. Because our
Yes.
incoming populations are getting sicker and sicker, both medically and mental health care. Oftentimes they need both when they arrive at our back door. So it's the first I ever heard it mentioned like that, so I take note of that. Obviously, corrections is not a public-facing group of Center County employees. Most people don't see us on a daily basis. At times, corrections is often a criticized field by those who don't have knowledge of the work or the challenges in corrections, and rarely do you see positive headlines or news about corrections. But at the Center County Correctional Facility, as you know, we pride ourselves on programming for the incarcerated individuals, the opportunities we provide for them. Currently, we offer over 26 programs on a weekly basis for approximately 148 hours. 148 hours offered weekly to those who wish to take it. Some are court mandated, most are not. Those are facilitated and or arranged by our inmate services team. And as reported back in January at our prison board meeting, we have a very low recidivism rate in Center County.
Yes.
Our population at the facility this morning was 143 individuals, with 113 being from Center County. At one point last year, we dipped just below 100 for a few days. That's in a facility that will hold 397 individuals. So we have room at the end, not that we're seeking business, but there is room. And lastly, if you're looking to join our team, we are hiring. Entry-level officers start at $22.15 per hour. It's a great benefit package, great retirement, paid time off, and you get to work with a great group of awesome coworkers. Again, thank you for acknowledging corrections, and we do appreciate it.
Thank you, Glenn. Anything Danielle or Mike would like to add?
Oh, no, I think you said it all, boss.
He covered a lot of it? All right. Well, did want to mention that our corrections officers and other staff at the correctional facility are part of an entire criminal justice ecosystem, which includes the entire court system, a public defender, and a number of charitable organizations, 501c3s here in the county, And over the last 13 years or so, we've seen a drop of over 50% in the number of individuals incarcerated in Center County, and yet there is no crime wave. If anything, crime continues to decrease. Yet other counties are overcrowded, which is why we have those additional inmates at the facility. And I'm told that once they've come to the Center County Correctional Facility, when they recidivate in other counties, they want to come back here because of all the programming and the food and the staff and the services. So again, big thanks from the commissioners and from the county taxpayer. Not only the fewer people incarcerated at the facility is lower our costs, but usually these are people who are in their active years, so they have children, which the county would then sometimes need to take care of. They're taking care of aging parents, which again, the county then would possibly need to take care of. And with the unemployment rate in Center County still very, very low, when you do the math, we've had thousands of people now over the last 13 years who were not incarcerated and were working productive as citizens during that time frame. So again, thanks again for the wonderful job that you do. Commissioner Concepcion?
Yeah, thank you so much to be here to highlight the work of Center County Corrections and the staff who work every day, 24/7, 365 days a year, to maintain that facility and to really be, in many ways, the goals of county corrections, because many of these folks are not necessarily going to be in jail for very long. They're often there for short sentences. You're looking to get these folks ready to be released, to be able to be productive citizens as they exit our facility. And we've had really good, we've had good fortune to be able to decrease recidivism rates significantly here in Center County. And I think that really speaks to the work that you all do there, including just like the dignity of each individual who is there that is respected by our corrections officers. And they are often, speak to being, when they leave, being able to get on a better track because of the services and care that was taken while they were incarcerated to get them there. So it's certainly someplace no one wants to end up on their life's journey, but if you are, a Center County resident and, people who, might find themselves there, there's programs there to help people get back on their feet, and that's important because we don't want to see them back again in corrections. So, yeah, thank you. And we know the work that the COs do in our facility every day is challenging work, but it's just a critical part of public safety here in Center County.
Thanks, Commissioner Concepcion. Commissioner Dershowitz?
Well, I think, Glenn, your comment earlier about how the change in our jails, they use the term urgent care, but what you really see on a daily basis is our mental health crises, substance abuse issues. And to respond to that, I think your organization has been incredible with medication-assisted therapies and getting while we have that small scope of time to change lives, that you're actually doing it. Because I know that's been incredibly successful in giving people an opportunity to turn their lives around, particularly when it comes to substance abuse issues. And mental health is just an ongoing conversation, and often getting those people into treatment for sometimes the first time. And and if you see the high number of folks that are on psychotropic medication and that are in therapy at our facility, it's pretty amazing that we have a small window of opportunity and some big results. And I think that's one of the reasons why your recidivism rate is so high, or so low rather, and why we do such a good job of making sure everybody gets the treatment and care that they need while we have them. But I will echo my colleagues. I think you folks do a good job. We work very well with the courts. We work very well with local law enforcement. I think there's just so many things that we have good to say about that facility, and whether it's the attitude of the folks that work there or the programming that exists, I think it all works very well together, and we really appreciate all the opportunities that you have to change lives. And oftentimes that's the first time that folks actually have that opportunity, and I think you folks have given them the best opportunity for success. We appreciate that.
Thank you. One last note, don't forget lunch on Thursday.
Right.
Great.
And so please thank everyone back at the facility who obviously you couldn't bring with you. But I will mention that recidivism rates about a decade ago in state facilities were as high as 58%. Lately, they've been trending downward, but really anything at a county facility of a recidivism rate under 40% is considered quite good. And I think the last time we calculated it, only 21%.
Yeah, we were in the low 20s, I believe.
Yeah, we're somewhere in the low 20s now, and that would be within a 3-year period, which is how it's normally calculated. So, I mean, that's a major reason why we've had such a rapid drop.
One other thing I'd like to mention is our central booking center
Oh, yes.
there, because it is an opportunity that the county's had to partner with local police agencies that not only provide a lot of convenience for police officers who have a suspect in custody, that they can actually do the arraignment at the jail, and it's a time saver, but it puts them back on the street faster and provides a lot more law enforcement coverage for
Absolutely.
for our region. And that's, what do we have? State College, Bellefonte, Spring Township, Patton, Ferguson, the state police, the Attorney General's office, and probably a few other folks I'm not even thinking about. Penn State Police.
On rare occasion, the sheriff's office, too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it really gets officers back on the street faster, and I think your administration of that program has been a huge success.
Last week during the power issues and the storm, the courthouse had to close. There was some hearings that had to take place, so
Yes.
the deputies
Yeah.
coordinated. I was out of town, but the deputies coordinated with the court system, and we actually had court hearings at the correctional facility.
Yeah.
And everything went very well, so.
Yeah, thanks to.
Yeah,
Thank
thanks
them
for the
publicly.
flexibility there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks to Kendra and John
Yes.
and your team. Those were some very important hearings that, per the Constitution, needed to be held within a tight time window, and
Yep.
we made it happen.
Yep.
Good, thanks again.
Sometimes we're faced with new challenges a lot, and we have been pretty fortunate to handle the majority of them.
Yep.
They call that above and beyond the call of duties.
Yes.
There you go.
Any questions from the press on corrections employee a week? No? Okay. All right, looks like we can take a motion now.
I'll move to adopt Proclamation 24 of 2025 proclaiming May 4th through 10th, 2025 as Corrections Employee Week in Center County.
I will second that.
We have a motion and a second to adopt proclamation number 24 proclaiming May 4th through the 10th as Corrections Employee Week in Center County. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed nay. Motion carries. Come on up and JJ will take the photo for us.
Good job. Sir?
Perfect. Center on Bellefonte.
At least no riot helmets.
No. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you again.
Thank you so much.
See you on Thursday.
Yes, indeed. See you Thursday day. Thank you. You're welcome.
All right, moving on. Thanks for coming. Moving on to contracts. Jonathan has 2 capital projects for us.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
I'm asking for your consideration and approval of change orders with Ainsworth Incorporated for adding drain lines to the water feature, wall brackets for
yes.
2 condensing units on the A side of the building, and additional sprinkler heads for code requirements. These change orders total $9,365.86. And then I'm also asking for your consideration and approval of a change order with GM McCrossin for added ceiling bulkheads, drywall, and painting. This work was following the rainwater relocation within the building. With moving some of the walls on the second floor, we had to do some additional work. And that total is $45,173.
Great, thanks for covering those, Jonathan. I believe we are still under budget, knock on wood, for change orders at the community services building.
Correct. We are doing quite well for the unknowns of that building with
Yeah.
the change orders.
Whenever you're doing a major change of use in a building that's got parts that are 90 years old, you're always a little concerned about that kind of
Yes.
stuff.
You don't know what you're gonna find until you open it up.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. Commissioner Concepcion, anything on these two
Sounds
items?
good.
Commissioner Dershowitz?
Good, thank you.
All right, we'll take a motion on that.
I'll move to approve capital projects items 1 and 2.
I will second
We
it.
have a motion and a second to approve the two capital projects. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. And Jonathan, I think you've got an item for our Center Hall MDJ office, which is right there at the entrance to Grange Fair, which will be here before we know it.
Yes. So I am asking for your consideration and approval of a contract with Carson Disposal, which is out of State College, to provide refuse collection at the Center Hall MDJ office. The contract is for $42 per month and totals $504 from May 6th of this year to May 6th of next year.
Thanks, Jonathan. Any questions from the commissioners on that? No?
I'll move to approve the contract with Carson Disposal.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the contract with Carson Disposal. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Great. Thanks, Jonathan.
Thank you.
And now Ray from Planning has an engagement letter.
Thank you, Commissioners. Good morning. This morning, I'm asking for the Commissioners' consideration to authorize the Chairman to execute an engagement letter for an audit through the Office of Budget. This audit will be in regards to the Center County Grange Park Equine Center project, which dates back to October 30th of 2017, when redevelopment assistance capital program grant funds were executed and agreement was made between Center County and the Grange, along with the Office of Budget. We have a scheduled entrance conference with the Office of Budget on May 9th at 11 o'clock, so we do require this, or Office of Budget requires this letter prior to the entrance meeting, so we're asking for that signature.
Great, thank you. Ray, a little background on that. Center County Commissioners offered to handle all the state paperwork for the redevelopment assistance capital program grant. And thankfully, Sue Hannigan was still with us at that point, and she put in a lot of hours on that. This U.S. Steel certification paperwork alone was quite a bit. But it had been a tremendous benefit to the county. Besides that facility being available for Grange Fair, they have a large number of horse shows, llama shows, alpaca shows, goat shows happening at that facility that attracts thousands of additional tourists we didn't used to see to Center County. I think I've heard it's something like the third largest facility of its type on the entire East Coast.
Could be.
Commissioner Concepcion, anything?
Yeah, thanks for all the work from your office on keeping this process, going through all the steps to finish out this process. It's been really a tremendous asset for Center County, both in terms of the tourism that it brings in with these kinds of shows, as well as, an asset at the Grange Fair for that, when we have, the Grange Fair encampment, so, good work.
Commissioner Dershowitz?
It just all makes sense. It's part of the process of doing the work, so I
Get it done,
appreciate the
huh?
hard work and effort you put in. Thank
All
you.
working as a team to improve the quality of life in Center County.
I just wanted to reiterate
Yeah.
Sue's work again. She did a majority of that
Yeah.
when I came in, and as planning director in 2019, she
Yeah.
was sort of finishing things up. There was a phase 2 to this project, but I think the Grange decided not to move forward with that, and that's why it's taken some time for the audit to come forward. So we're prepared to gather that information that Sue kept and hopefully get that to Office of Budget so that we can complete the project officially.
Great, thanks, Ray. Questions from the press on that? No?
I'll move to approve the engagement letter for Center County Grange Park Equine Center project.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the engagement letter for the Center County Grange Park Equine Center project. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, nay. Motion carries. Great, thanks, Ray.
Thank you.
And then for Human Services, we've got an item that combines transportation and elections. Who would have ever thought that would happen?
How
But
about
it's
it?
really cool.
Yes,
So
it
I will
is.
hand it over to David Melanie.
Well, thank you. We both come here today asking for consideration of the approval of retrofitting a county van. It's van number 55, that we're going to make it into a mobile unit to serve the elections office, is what our intentions are. And the retrofitting would include a camera system, electrical hookups by putting a power inverter in there, to allow the use of computers and printers and other needed equipment. And then an awning outside that we can actually set up right outside the van for people to come and do the necessary things and anything else to perform the duties. That's my part, getting it retrofitted. The rest is up to Melanie, so I'm going to let her talk a little bit about what the intended use is.
Good morning.
Morning.
So this will be a Center County Elections Office mobile satellite office. This van will help ensure that every eligible voter in Center County has the opportunity to cast their ballot. By bringing services directly to communities, we can better reach residents in areas where accessibility challenges make it difficult to visit the elections office here in Bellefonte. The mobile satellite office will be fully equipped to assist voters on site. Residents will be able to request a ballot, complete and return their ballot immediately, and access voter registration applications to register or update their information. This initiative is making voting more accessible, convenient, and eligible for everyone in Center County.
Well, I'd like to thank both of you for cooperating and keeping the costs within reason. I believe Montgomery County did something similar in the last election,
Yes, they were the first ones in Pennsylvania to do this.
but I believe they used a new van.
They did.
Whereas we're taking an existing van and kind of MacGyver style, retrofitting it. Amazing what you can do nowadays with cell phones and portable batteries, and I believe it'll have multiple cameras in the van as well. So this is going to be tremendous, and we can go anywhere the need exists. I'm assuming we'll probably mostly start with the senior center parking lots at this point.
Yes.
But we can move it around to wherever in the county is a good spot, and that way everybody gets a chance. Commissioner Concepcion, you're chair of the Board of Elections.
Yeah, well, I'm just really excited about this initiative and grateful for the work of Dave Lamison and Melanie, our elections director, that, you know, you kind of took the idea that we heard from Montgomery County they were doing this, and you both took the idea and ran with it. And done, you know, I think a lot of work getting to the point where you're able to say, yeah, here's how we can get this van ready to do this and meet all of the requirements for election security at the same time, which is a really critical point to mention here, I think, is that we're going to be very sure that we're meeting all requirements for security and accessibility with this van. And, you know, when we were talking in the fall about opening a satellite office at the Penn State campus, because that's where we have the greatest number of new voters who need election department services on a regular basis, you know, there was concern raised that how can we reach the rest of the county? And so this is really an effort to create an opportunity that we can, whether we're going to potentially to Snowshoe or Phillipsburg or downtown State College, that we can create a route that we are, you know, people are able to come access election services convenient to them. And it's a big county. I think it's bigger than Rhode Island, right?
Yes.
So the geographic size of the county means that some people have quite a ways to come to get to Bellefonte, and we want to make it convenient for them. And I think it's, you know, this will sort of be in some ways a bit of a PR push for voting itself, the importance of voting, the importance of being involved in your community in that way, and make it easier for people at the same time. So, thank you. Thanks for the work that's gone into this.
Thanks for the background, Commissioner Concepcion. Commissioner Dershowitz.
And this will be geared up for the general election in the fall.
Yes.
Obviously, we're running pretty
Yep.
tight on time for the
Yep.
primary.
We're going to take our time and get everything prepared and ready to go and get everything we need from the state.
Yep.
So what services, do you have an idea which services specifically?
It would be mainly mail-in ballot applications, being able to do everything, basically what we did at the satellite office in Penn State. We would have ballots on demand right there, and then we will have voter registration applications that people could fill out, and that we will bring back to the office too.
And there'll be, I would assume you'll have to have a published schedule of where the
Yes.
van will be and what communities it'll be serving. Okay.
Yeah, so we'll definitely look forward to the press's help with that. And thanks for the historical background, Commissioner Concepcion. You know, we're, counties like to copy successful ideas from each other.
We borrowed.
And, we borrow, yes, we borrow successful ideas from each other. But again, like to thank both Elections and Transportation for this collaboration and very, very reasonable cost for us to be able to deploy election services in person virtually anywhere in the county. Questions from the press on this?
I have a request from Mr. Lomas, if he could stick around, ask some questions about Belmont last night.
Okay.
Oh, all
I
right.
can wait till the end of the meeting, Jim.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you. All right. Yes, in the front row.
Hi, I'm Susan Werner from Ferguson Township, but I'm here on behalf of the Center County League of Women Voters, and we strongly encourage you to adopt this. We feel like every eligible voter should have the opportunity to vote, and this will make it easier for many. But I also have a question. Are you considering keeping open the office on campus that you had this past election?
We cannot keep that office open. That building is actually being deconstructed. So
Oh, true.
Yeah.
And there's no other building that they've offered?
I think we've been in some discussion with Penn State. This might make it so we don't need to do that. We'll have to I think we're not quite ready to answer that question,
Right.
maybe.
Right. Okay, thanks.
So, but we know that office is not going to be available, so.
Yeah. Great. Any other additional questions from either the audience or the press on this? No? Well, again, thank you so much, Dave and Melody, for cooperating and making this happen quickly at a very reasonable cost, and we'll have this deployed by the general election of 2025.
Yeah.
Thanks. Okay. I think we take a motion.
Then I'll move to approve the retrofitting of van number 55 for a mobile unit for the elections office.
I will second that.
We have a motion and a second to approve the retrofitting of van number 55 into a mobile unit for the elections office. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, nay. Motion carries. Thanks, Dave. Thanks,
Thank
Melanie.
you.
Then Julia has an early intervention report. I think it's a revision.
Yes, so, good morning. I'm here to ask you to consider approval of the revised Commonwealth of Pennsylvania DHS Bureau of Financial Operations Early Intervention County Report for fiscal year 23-24. We just needed to make some minor corrections to the report that had been submitted.
All right. Great. Thanks. Any questions from the commissioners? No? All right.
Then I'll move to approve the revised Commonwealth of Pennsylvania DHS Bureau of Financial Operations Early Intervention County Report for fiscal year 23-24.
I will second that.
We have a motion and a second to approve the revised Commonwealth of Pennsylvania Department of Human Services Bureau of Financial Operations Early Intervention County Report for state fiscal year 23-24. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. I believe you have two more items for us.
So the next is a contract addendum number 1 with Strawberry Fields Incorporated, and this is just allowing additional funds for blended case management. So that increases their allocation from $1,788,901 to $1,826,991. This is keeping in mind that this amount includes residential programs included, so that's why the really high amount there for that contract, because they provide a lot of services to us, but among the most expensive is the residential. And then the next contract addendum is with UPMC Home Health Care of Central Pennsylvania, and this is to provide some additional early intervention services. We've, talked about the increase of referrals, and so this will allow us to serve some other families.
Wonderful.
Services.
Both for great organizations, and in fact, I believe the early intervention services at Home Nursing Agency were actually started by a Bellefonte native.
Oh.
So that's wonderful. Anything, Commissioner Concepcion?
Sounds good.
Commissioner Dershowitz?
Fine.
All right, we'll take a motion.
Move to add the MHID, EI, DNA items 2 and 3 to next week's consent agenda.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to add the MHID-EI drug and alcohol items 2 and 3 to next week's consent agenda. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, nay. Motion carries. Great. Thanks,
you.
Julia. I think that Bellefonte native was Nancy Knoll, and that was, goodness, 40 or 50 years ago. But obviously helped several hundred families since then. We have a very short consent agenda. You Just take a motion on that.
Move to approve this week's consent agenda.
I will second it.
We have a motion and a second to approve this week's consent agenda. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. We have 3 appointments for authorities, boards, and commissions. We'd like to thank Marcia. Is it Sakish? Am I close? All right.
It's close, yeah.
Okay. Who will be on our Aging Advisory Council from May 6th of 2025 to May 5th of 2027. And we'd like to thank Thomas Walk and Tristan Kleinfelter for joining our local emergency planning committee. Those appointments are basically ongoing as long as that person is in their particular position referencing emergency planning. They can stay on as long as they'd like. So unless there's any questions, we'll take a motion on those.
I'll move to approve these ABC appointments.
I will second that.
We have a motion and a second to approve the ABC appointments. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Moving on to letters of support. We have Ed Stoddard here from the Happy Valley Adventure Bureau regarding marketing to attract tourists, which is obviously very important in this county.
Thank you very much, Commissioners. We have an opportunity to apply, the Happy Valley Adventure Bureau has an opportunity to apply for state funding to up our game a little bit with content creators, and this is a rare opportunity that we're trying to take advantage of. We have hosted 22 content creators thus far in our fiscal year, and we want to up our game a little bit and do even more in this coming year. Content creators are the new marketing tactic that's available. The state of Pennsylvania is following this tactic quite a bit, and we are taking full advantage of our relationships with media, content creators, bloggers, social media influencers, etc., to say great things and to show the wonderful things there are here in Center County in Happy Valley to enjoy. So we ask for your support for this. We are looking at a second grant opportunity. We'll make a request for a letter of support for that as well. But we hope for your support on this, and we appreciate all that you do.
Thanks for coming, Ed. The Happy Valley Adventure Bureau is doing great work, a lot of cutting-edge type projects, and we now have over 8,000 people who work in Center County who are tied to tourism one way or another, which I believe is a record, and Commissioner Concepcion is our representative to your board.
Yeah, I think, I really appreciate your efforts to stay on the cutting edge of where the market is moving in terms of tourism marketing. And, I've seen some of the work that's come out of some of these influencers highlighting things in our area that are, great activities to do, as well as, some folks who are creating content about why this is a great place to live. So I think this is really worthwhile, and it's a way to reach different audiences than we would through some of the more traditional marketing efforts. So thanks.
Thank you.
Great, and Commissioner Dersham, you've had a long history of working with tourism.
Yeah, this sounds like, what kind of money are we looking at here to?
This letter of
What
support that we're
opportunity?
looking for is for $75,000
Okay.
to bring in content creators, to pay them for their work, and also our operating costs to take them around, the lodging, dining, all the great opportunities that we show, that we go through to show off Center County.
That's significant money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Proud to support it, happy to support it, and hopefully you're successful, so.
Thank you.
That would be fabulous. We've got a lot of great restaurants and great tasting trail here in Center County. I think we've had 7 new restaurants open up just so far this year, so a lot of
Yeah, the farm to table is amazing here, and
Yeah.
all the great
a
opportunities.
lot of positive motion here in Center County. Any questions for the Adventure Bureau?
If I could indulge the commissioners for a moment, I also want to mention that we are planting with the America 250 PA project. We are planting our Liberty Tree this Saturday, May 10th at 2 o'clock. And we're very excited to be part of the America 250 PA process. And I wanted to mention that while I was here today. Thank you.
Great, thanks, Ed. Yes, Gary, question?
Where is that Saturday? At Center Furnace Mansion. We're planting Liberty Tree as part of the process through the entire state of Pennsylvania to have a Liberty Tree in each county in Pennsylvania during the America 250 PA process.
Each of these trees, oh, I'm sorry, each of these trees is a cutting from an original tree that had some
It dates-
historic.
Dates back to Boston, yes. And this is a propagated sapling from the original Liberty tree, and it's been carefully preserved over the years, and there will be a sapling distributed through all through Pennsylvania counties, including Center County. Center First Mansion on Saturday, 2 o'clock.
Is it safe to say when you survey tourists now, in terms of how do they hear about Center County, whatever, social media is playing a much larger role?
Oh, certainly digital presence is incredibly important with our website, happyvalley.com, and all of our social media presence, the great work that our senior correspondent, Rebecca Petner, is doing to represent Center County and increase engagement on social media. It's very, very important. It's a peer-to-peer recommendation, if you think of it that way, that we're giving recommendations about all the great things there are to do and see here in Center County.
Great, thank you, Gary. Any other questions? Unless there's anything else, I think we could take a motion.
I'll move to approve the letter of support for the Happy Valley Adventure Bureau grant application.
I will second that.
We have a motion and a second to approve the letter of support for the Happy Valley Adventure Bureau grant application. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, pose nay. Motion carries. Great, thank you very much, Ed. Thanks for coming.
Thank you,
See you on
Commissioners.
Saturday.
Thank you.
Thank you, Aaron.
And we've got a CNET request. I think John's covering that, and it's regarding the upcoming election.
Yes, good morning, Commissioners. Before you for consideration is approval of the CNET taping sponsorship of the live stream of the 2025 Municipal Primary Vote by Mail Center, Emergency Operations Center, and Board of Elections meetings held on May 22nd and May 23rd.
Great, thanks, John, and thanks to CNET for the massive amount of extra time that's
Yes.
going to take.
Yeah.
Any questions from either commissioner on that?
Just a note that this should be probably the last time we have our vote by mail center at the Penn Stater. And in the fall, it should be in our new elections department at the Community Services Building. So looking
Great
forward to
point.
that.
Go ahead.
I'll move to approve the CNET taping sponsorship.
I will second it.
We have a motion and a second to approve the CNET taping sponsorship. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed nay. Motion carries. Moving on to the check run, Commissioner Concepcion.
Yeah, the check that I'd like to highlight today on the check run is to Mission Critical Partners for work they've done on our 911 infrastructure. We've been doing a lot of IT upgrades and capital projects related to our 911 infrastructure. And when you see events like we had this past Tuesday, you can see why keeping up to date on all of the technology that goes into that is really important. So with that, I would move to approve the check run that is dated May 2nd.
I will second that.
We have a motion and a second to approve the check run dated May 2nd. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed nay. Motion carries. John, is there an administrative report today?
Nothing to report at this time.
All right. Moving on to voter registration, and we do have a report.
We do. So today, on our voter registration report, we have 101,604 total registered voters in Center County. That's down 13 from last week. Of those voters, we have 41,262 Democratic, 159 Green Party, 556 Libertarian, 15,535 with no affiliation, 42,074 Republican, and all of the other minor parties come up to 2,018 to bring us to that total of 101,604. Our precinct of the week this week that we're going to recognize is Precinct 4. This is Bellefonte Southeast. They have 972 registered voters and had a voter turnout of 80% at the last election in November. Precinct 4, Bellefonte Southeast, votes at the Faith United Methodist Church at 512 Hughes Street in Bellefonte, and we would like to thank Faith United Methodist for the use of their facility for elections. And that is our report.
Great. Thanks, Commissioner Concepcion. We've got a couple of announcements, one of which is related to the storm. SNAP recipients affected by the storms are encouraged to apply for replacement SNAP benefits for storm recovery. It's a little confusing, but the group you apply to is called the County Assistance Office, but it is not part of Center County government. It's part of state government. And the phone number for their local office is 814-863-6571, 814-863-6571. And you might need to hurry it up because I believe you have 10 days from when the storm hits to apply for replacing the food. So I believe Friday may be the deadline. Also, the State College Area Food Bank is offering to replace food for people who were affected by the storm. You don't need to be a current client. Anybody who meets the income guidelines can apply, and you can contact them or look at their Facebook page for additional details. The last day to apply for a mail-in or civilian absentee ballot for the municipal primary is this coming Tuesday, May 13th. And due to the election, the Board of Commissioners meeting on Tuesday, May 20th has been canceled. Do we have any executive sessions to report or hold, John?
None to report, however, there is a need to hold an executive session to discuss a real estate matter.
All right. Thank you, John. And the remainder of our public meeting schedule, Thursday we have Retirement Board at 1 and Board of Elections at 3. Next week, Tuesday, Board of Commissioners meeting at 10, and the combined Salary Board and Board of Commissioners meeting on Thursday, May 15th. Moving on to questions from the press. Gary, I believe you had a question for Dave.
Okay.
Can you review what was discussed last night at Bellefonte? Seems like the county transportation office is going to take a bigger role now in the Bellefonte area transit needs?
Well, I wouldn't say necessarily more of a in-depth role with clients that aren't currently using our services is what we're looking to reach out and take care of. Bellefonte Borough is going to help subsidize some of this with the money that they had earmarked for the Cata-Go, Cata-Ride services and work directly in helping support these people that potentially don't have any funding sources. So, you know, an individual that's age 18 to 59 that doesn't qualify for any funding, the borough will help subsidize that to get them to work or to medical appointments and potentially to groceries and real apparent needs. We've talked about this for several months. You know, we've looked at numbers that have been provided to us by Cata and Cata-Go. The impact is minimal on our service, and therefore we feel we can help these people with this.
Is this a formal agreement, a short-term agreement? How long, do you know how long this will last?
I really can't answer that. As long as they have money, I guess. You know, when we do a trip, we obviously have to bill someone for that trip. And it's no different than any other entity that we contract with. We contract with many now that we do stuff for. Prime example is CVIM, Skills of Pennsylvania, Community Services Group. They all fund trips for people. So we're willing to contract basically with anyone. I do trips for the school districts as needed. Sometimes, in particular, Baltigo area, I've done many trips for students that are displaced out of the district and need to get to school, and the district contracts with us to do those trips. So it's nothing different than we do every day, just offering it to the Bellefonte Borough at this time.
So will you be adding any personnel, or do you need more equipment for this?
No, we're good right now, to be determined, I guess. I mean, if this would really mushroom out there, then we would have to look at that potential. But based on all the numbers and the data that we've seen so far, I think we're fine with personnel. We're right about where we need to be, so.
How soon does this start, or does it start when they're formally out of their category?
Their contract ends June 30th, so we may start it a few weeks before just to get it in place and see how it goes. But it's no different than any normal day for us. If you're not already set up with us, you call in and register, and if you fall into that category, we set you up under that category and go from there.
That's all I have.
Thanks. So the planning meetings we had last year are definitely assisting with this, and we'd like to thank the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania for the additional buses
Yes,
that we
absolutely.
ordered last year that I believe, do we have a couple of them now and a couple more coming?
We just received 2 more. We have 4 new ones in the last 6 months, and we're in the process of a new grant for more. So we're all, that's a rotating cycle. Usually every year and a half to 2 years, we replace at least 4 buses. So thanks to the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation, the Lottery Division that funds those buses, yes.
Yes, so appreciate that support from the Commonwealth.
Yep.
Any additional questions from the press on any other items?
Anybody know, does the county still have the network of volunteer stream launchers?
I believe we do,
Yeah,
but
through
that's more
RSVP.
conservation,
Yes,
yeah.
it's through RSVP, yes.
Yes. Yeah, thanks, Steve.
Thank you.
I knew it existed, I just didn't know which department it reported through. Any other questions? Great, well, thanks everyone for coming, we appreciate it. And thanks for the listeners for sticking with us through 11 o'clock. Unless there's anything else for the good of the order, or we could take a motion to adjourn.
So enter executive?
Enter executive session, sorry. different
Make a
phrasing.
motion to enter executive session.
Second.
We have a motion, second, to enter executive session at 11:07. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed nay. Motion carries, we're in executive session.